Okay, well, today we discussed about power factor control. Okay, so content is introduction about power factor, causes of low power factor, disadvantages of low power factor, need of power factor improvement, and methods of power factor improvement. Okay, so basics of the power factor. Okay, so power factor is defined as the cosine angle between voltage and current in alternating circuit. Okay, so if we talk about the AC circuit, then there is a phase angle between voltage and current, and if we take the cosine of this angle, then it is the power factor in AC circuit. Okay, so a phase angle difference, that is phi, exists between voltage and current in AC circuit, or we can say that a voltage waveform and current waveform, or voltage vector and current vector. Okay, so cosine of angle, or we can say it is termed as a cos phi. Okay, so cos phi is termed as the power factor in AC circuit. Okay, so in AC circuit, okay, we assume that we have a different types of circuit. Okay, so yeah, different types of circuit means we have a resistive circuit, we have an inductive circuit, and we have a capacitive circuit. Okay, so in resistive circuit, if look at this waveform, in a resistive circuit we have a voltage waveform and current waveform. So in resistive circuit, voltage waveform and current waveform start from the same time. Okay, so starting point of voltage waveform and current waveform is same, as well as the ending point of voltage waveform and current waveform is also same. It also becomes maximum at the same times. Okay, so we can say that both these quantities are in phase with each other. Okay, so there is no phase difference between these two quantities, or we can say that there is no phase angle between these two quantities. Okay, so here the phase angle is zero. So in resistive circuit, the phase angle between voltage and current is zero. That means if we take cos 0, then cos 0 is equal to 1. That means for a resistive circuit, the power factor is unity. Now second waveform is for inductive circuit. Okay, so if the load is of inductive type, then we can say that the circuit is of inductive type. Okay, so in inductive circuit, current lags behind the voltage by some angle phi. Okay, so this is the angle difference between voltage waveform and current waveform. This is the angle phi. Okay, so here the current lags behind the voltage waveform by some angle, and this angle is the phi angle. Okay, so this is the phase angle or phase difference between these two quantities. Okay, so when current lags behind the voltage by some angle, it is known as the lagging power factor. So in inductive circuit, the power factor is the lagging power factor. Okay, now third waveform is for capacitive circuit. When load is of capacitive type, then we can say that the circuit is a capacitive circuit. In capacitive circuit, what happens? The current waveform leads the voltage waveform by some angle phi. Okay, so as the current leads the voltage waveform by some angle phi, the power factor is known as the leading power factor. Okay, so in electrical we have a resistive circuit, inductive circuit, and capacitive circuit. In resistive circuit, the phase angle is zero, so the unit power factor is the unity. In inductive circuit, the current lags behind the voltage by phi angle, so power factor is inductive circuit is the lagging, and in capacitive circuit, current leads the voltage by phi angle, and the power factor is the leading power factor. Okay, so these are the three types of circuit in electrical engineering, as well as the three types of power factor. So we can differentiate the power factor, that is the unity power factor, lagging power factor, and a leading power factor. Okay, so this is the power triangle. Okay, here this OA represents the active power factor, that is the VI cos phi. This AB represents the reactive power factor, that is VI sin phi, and this OB represents the apparent power. Okay, So this OB is the total power, that is it is the combination of active power and a reactive power. Reactive power, we have a two type of power, active power and a reactive power, and if we combine it we get the apparent power. So if we combine VI cos phi and VI sin phi, that means apparent power becomes VI. Okay, so the power factor is equal to cos phi. Here is the angle between active power and apparent power. This is the angle phi. Okay, so cos phi is the cosine angle between voltage and current, as well as the angle between active power and apparent power. Okay, so this is the angle phi. So how can we define the another definition of power factor? That is, this active power, okay, is equal to power factor is equal to, how can we define power factor is equal to, here what happens, VI cos phi, that is this active power, VI cos phi divided by VI. Okay, so from this power triangle we can write that power factor is equal to VI cos phi divided by VI, or we can write that is it is kW divided by kVA. Okay, so it is a active power divided by apparent power. Also the power factor is equal to ratio of resistance and impedance. So if we give the another definition, that the ratio of resistance and impedance is also known as the power factor. So these are the three different definitions of power factor. Now causes of low power factor. Okay, so which are the reasons of low power factor? So first of all, that is the inductive load. Okay, that is the load, that power factor always depends on load, that which type of load is connected. Okay, as the load type of load is changed, power factor will also be changed. Okay, so finally we can say that this power factor depends on type of load connected to the system or the equipment. Okay, so in industries what happens, the 90% of loads are of inductive type, that is the induction machine, whether it is of single phase or three phase. Such machines, what these machines will do, these machines draw magnetizing current to produce the magnetic field, hence the work at low power factor. Okay, so 90% load is of inductive load type, induction machine type. Okay, so this induction machines draws magnetizing current from the source. Okay, and when it draws the magnetizing current from the source, it works at a low power factor. Okay, for induction machine the power factor is usually extremely low, that is 0.2 to 0.3 at light load. So when machine is at light load, it works at light load, at that time the power factor is extremely low, that is 0.2 to 0.3. Okay, whereas at full load it becomes 0.8 to 0.9. Okay, so this is the difference of power factor. That is, when it operates at light load the power factor is very low and it is 0.2 to 0.3. The current drawn by inductive load is lagging and result in low power factor. We already discussed it. Okay, otherwise inductive machines such as transformer, generators, arc lamp, electric furnaces, etc. also work at low power factor too. Okay, so due to this inductive load, because the 90% industrial load is of inductive type, that's why this is the main cause of low power factor. Inductive machines operates on low power factor, that's why it is the main cause for the low power factor. Okay, now next is the variations in power system loading. Okay, so today we have a interconnected system. According to different seasons and time, the loading condition of power system vary. Okay, so in summer the power is demand is more, in winter the power demand is less. Okay, so as the time changes or the season changes, according to that the seasons the loading conditions of power system vary. There are peak as well as low load periods. Okay, so sometimes we demand is to peak, sometimes the demand is very low, so it is varies according to the time to time. So when the system is lightly loaded, okay, now we assume that we have a time period in which the load is very light, okay, or the system is lightly loaded. So the voltage increase when the system is lightly loaded, or we can say that the load reduces on the system. At that time what happens, the voltage level increases and the current drawn by the machines also increases, which results in the low power factor. So as the power system loading varies, according to it the power factor will change. Okay, so if the power system loading at a light load, at that time it results in the low power factor. Okay, next is the harmonic currents. Okay, the presence of harmonic currents in the system also reduces the power factors. Okay, so due to the harmonic it will affect the power factor, and due to it the power factor reduces. In some cases, due to improper wiring of electrical accidents, a conditions known as three-phase power imbalance occurs. Okay, in three-phase system what happens, if there is not a proper wiring, or we can say that when electrical accident occurs, at that time improper power balance occur, or we can say that the imbalanced power condition occurs, three phase imbalanced power system occurs, and this will also result in the low power factor. Okay, another cause is the improper maintenance of induction machine. As we discussed earlier, that 90% load is of inductive type. Okay, so as the 90% load of inductive type, and if the maintenance of that machines is not done properly, then what happens, it carried out more current from the source, and when it carries more current from the source, what happens, the power factor will reduce. So it is, we have to keep in mind that the maintenance of each and every machines or industrial machines that we are using must be maintained properly. Okay, so if maintenance is proper, the machine will not draw more current from the source, and due to it the power factor will maintain. Okay, so if we want to take example, then if air gap between stator and rotor is increased, okay, if we take the example of an induction machine, so in induction machine what happens, there is a air gap between stator and rotor. Okay, so if the air gap is increased, if air gap is not maintained properly, then what happens, the magnetizing current increases. That means the machine takes more current from the source as the magnetizing current increases. Okay, and as the magnetizing current increases, the power factor reduces. Okay, so this is the one example of proper maintenance. If air gap is maintained between stator and rotor, then we can say that the power factor will also maintain. Okay, so this is the one another cause of low power factor. Then overrating of the equipment. Okay, so when motor of increased rating is used, that means the load compared to the load. Okay, so load requirement is less, but we are using the overrating machines. Okay, so when we are using overrating machines compared to the load, what happens, this machine operates on less load. This machine operates on less load, that means when machines are operating on light load, at that time always the power factor is low. Okay, so we have to use the machines specification or ratings according to the requirement of the load. So which type of load is there, what is the demand of the load, and according to that rating of the equipment we have to use. So we have to use the proper rating machines as per the load requirement. Now, which are the disadvantages of the low power factor? Okay, here take one example. A motor is rated at 200 volt. Okay, we have one motor and the specification of this motor is 200 volt and 1 kilowatt power. Okay, and it is operating at two different power factors. One, we assume one case is the 0.5 power factor and one is the unity power factor. Okay, the current to the motor in each power factor operation condition is given as. Okay, so at unity power factor, what happens if we assume that the motor operates on unity power factor? So when motor operates on unity power factor, what is the current taken by the motor? Okay, so unity power factor, current taken by the motor is, the power is 1000, so it is 1000 divided by V. Okay, so general equation is P is equal to VI cos phi. Our formula is V is equal to P is equal to VI cos phi. So using this formula, if we calculate the value of current, then P is equal to 1000, V is equal to 200 and cos phi is equal to 1. So I is equal to 1000 divided by 200 into 1. Okay, so the current flowing through the motor at unity power factor is 5 ampere. So when motor operates on unity power factor, the current taken by the motor is 5 ampere. Okay, and the apparent power VI is equal to 200 into 5, that is the 1 kVA, that is the apparent power. Okay, now we assume that the motor operates at 0.5 power factor. So at that time, the current taken by the motor is 1000 divided by 200 into 0.5. Now in place of 1 unity power factor, we have a 0.5 power factor. Okay, so at that time, the current taken by the motor is 10 ampere, because it is the half power factor. Here is the unity power factor, here it is 0.5, so the power factor reduces to half. Okay, so current becomes double. Okay, so I is equal to 10 ampere. So the motor takes the 10 ampere current and apparent power becomes 200 into 10 is equal to 2 kVA. So this is the one example when the same motor operates on different power factor. One motor operates on unity power factor, one motor operates on 0.5 power factor. Okay, so at that time when the motor operates on unity power factor, it takes less current and the apparent power is also less. But when it operates on low power factor, it takes more current and the apparent power also increases. Okay, so what happens then? First disadvantage of low power factor, that is the greater cable size. Okay, now how cable size increases? The current flowing through the conductor or cable during low power factor is higher than the current at a high power factor. Here we have seen the one example. The motor is same, but when it operates on unity power factor, it takes 5 ampere. When it operates on 0.5 power factor, it takes 10 ampere. The motor is same. Okay, so what happens at low power factor? The current increases. Okay, so conductors have to carry twice the current of the motor at low power factor when it compared with the unity power factor. Okay, so larger cable is required to carry a large current during low power factor conditions of the load. So as we discussed one example, what happens at low power factor? The cable size increases. This is the one disadvantage. Okay, next is the larger kVA rating. Okay, so we knew that the cos phi is equal to kW divided by kVA, or we can say that the kW is equal to kVA cos phi, where kVA rating is inversely proportional to the power factor. If we see this formula, what we can write? The relationship between cos phi and kVA, that is the inversely proportional relationship. Okay, so as the kVA rating increases, the power factor reduces. Okay, so we can say that if the machine operates on low power factor, the kVA rating of the machine increases. If the power factor is low, the kVA rating of the machines increases. Likewise here, as for this example, here the rating is 1 kVA apparent power. when it operates, same machine operates on low power factor, the kVA rating or the apparent power becomes 2 kVA. So kVA rating of the machine increases due to the low power factor. Okay, then more copper losses. Okay, now as we discussed that the larger current flows through the equipment or machines or the power system at low power factor. So as the current increases, what happens, the I square R loss, that is the copper loss. So I square R loss in the system and the machines will increase, and due to it will lead into the poor efficiency. So as the current increases, I square R loss increases, I square R loss increases, hence the efficiency will become poor. Next is the poor voltage regulation. Okay, low power factor causes larger voltage drop. Okay, when current increases from the system, at that time what happens, the voltage drop. When high current is taken from the system, the voltage drops in the system. Okay, so here what happens, the larger voltage drops. We are talking about the low power factor, so low power factor causes larger voltage drop in transmission, distribution line, transformers, alternators, etc. So this will result in a decreased voltage in the supply end. Okay, so due to the high current taken, the voltage drops, and due to it the supply voltage level decreases. More electricity tariff. So for low power factor, or if low power factor increases, electricity bills due to the higher consumption of current. As the current consumption is more due to the low power factor, electricity bill will increase, and sometimes the electricity company penalize for very much low power factor. If power factor becomes low, very low, at that time sometimes the electricity company penalize for the low power factor. So these are the disadvantages of low power factor. The cable size increases, kVA rating of the machine increases, more copper loss or the copper loss increases, and due to it will get the poor voltage regulation, more electricity tariff, and finally we can say that the cost increases. So these are the disadvantages. These are the disadvantages. Now the advantages of power. Okay, the disadvantages are for low power factor. So when power factor is low, which are the disadvantages we are getting? Okay, so we have to improve the power factor. Okay, we knew that which are the disadvantages of low power factor, so we have to try to improve this power factor. Okay, so if we improve the power factor, suppose, then which advantages we are getting if we improve the power factor? Okay, so generally the real power P is equal to VI cos phi. Okay, so electric current is inversely proportional to cos phi. Okay, we have a formula, P is equal to VI cos phi. Okay, so I is equal to P divided by V cos phi. So current is inversely proportional to cos phi or the power factor. Okay, so relationship between current and power factor is inversely proportional. So a given amount of power at a certain voltage, okay, hence higher the power factor, lower will be the current flowing. Okay, so if we assume the relationship is inversely proportional, so if power factor increases, the current reduces. So less current will flow through the equipment. So small current flow requires a less cross-sectional area of conductor. Okay, at high power factor, current will reduce, so less current is flowing through the equipment, and less current is flowing through the equipment. That means the less cross-sectional area of conductor is required, and hence the saving in the conductor as well as the money. Okay, so when we are improving the power factor or the machine operates on high power factor, at that time current reduces. That means the I square R loss reduces, the cross sectional area of conductor reduces, and due to it it will result in saving of conductor as well as saving of money. So this is the main advantage of power factor improvement. If kVA rating of machine is also reduced by having higher power factor as per the formula kVA is equal to kW by cos phi, hence the loss reduces, size reduces, current reduces, that means the heating occurs in the machine also reduces, and finally the cost of machine reduces and efficiency will improve. So these are the major disadvantages if we improve the power factor. Then kVA rating reduces, that means the size of the machine reduces, current reduces, that means the loss reduces, also heating occurs in the machine reduces, and finally loss reduces, that means the efficiency will improve, and efficiency will improve, that means the cost of the machine will reduce. Okay, so these are the main advantages of power factor improvement. Now how can we improve the power factor? So we have a different methods to improve the power factor. There are main three methods to improve the power factor: capacitor bank, by using capacitor bank, by using synchronous condenser, and by using the phase advancers. Okay, so this is the capacitor bank. So by using capacitor banks, power factor improvement by capacitor bank. This is the single line diagram. Okay, here is the load, RL type load, and capacitor is connected across this load. Okay, so first we assume that the capacitor is not connected. Okay, so at that time the current taken by the load, that is the I1 ampere. Okay, first we assume that capacitor is not connected across this load. Okay, so at that time current taken by the load, that is the I1 current. Okay, and it lags the voltage by more angle. Okay, that is the phi 2 angle. Here in figure it is written that is the phi 2 angle. Okay, so when capacitor is not connected across the load, at that time this is the RL type load. So current taken by this load, that is the I1. Okay, and this I1 lags behind the voltage by more angle phi 2. Okay, now the capacitor is connected across this load. Okay, so as soon as this capacitor is connected to this load, what happens? The capacitor takes the leading current. Okay, that is the IC, or we can say that the charging current, that is IC. Okay, so now what happens? This IC current leads the voltage by 90 degree. Okay, this IC current, look at this. This IC current leads the voltage by 90 degree. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have a two current, that is the one current is flowing through the load and one current is through the capacitor. Okay. So if we combine these two current, I1 and IC, then it is the total current drawn from the supply. Okay, that is the I2 current. Okay, so what we have to do? This is the I1 current, it lags the voltage by phi 2 angle. This is the IC current, capacitor current, that leads the voltage by 90 degree. Okay, now from this point we have to draw parallel line to this I1 current. Okay, so here we have to draw this parallel line to I1 current. Now from this point of I1 we have to draw one parallel line to this IC current. Okay, so at that time we get the one resultant current, and this resultant current is the I2 current, which lags behind the voltage by phi 1 angle. Okay, so this is the I2 current, that is the total current taken from the source. Okay, so look at this figure. From this figure we can say that this I1 I2 current lags behind the voltage by angle phi 1, and this angle phi 1 is lesser than the phi 2 angle. Okay, so as the phase angle difference between voltage and current reduces, the power factor increases. So in this manner we can use the capacitor to increase the power factor. If in the three-phase system, then we have two type of capacitor bank, that is the delta connected capacitor bank and a star connected capacitor bank, and it is connected look likes in this figure. Okay, this is the connection of star connected capacitor bank and delta connected capacitor bank. Okay, this method is widely used in industries and substation as there are no moving parts in this system. Okay, this is the static capacitor banks, there is no moving parts in this system, so it requires less maintenance. Always keep in mind that maintenance in the machines which are static, okay, less maintenance is required in the static machines, whereas in rotating machines more maintenance is required compared to the static machines. Okay, so this is the static capacitor banks, that means the maintenance required is also less, and the repair of capacitor is not economically once they are damaged. Okay, but the disadvantage is repair of capacitor is not economically, okay, once they are damaged. Okay, so we have to replace this capacitor. So this is the capacitor bank used to improve the power factor. Okay, next is the synchronous condenser method. Okay, so synchronous condenser, that means the synchronous motor when operates on no load. Okay, synchronous condenser is a synchronous motor when operates on no load and operates in over excited conditions. Synchronous motor we can operate on over excited condition, below excited condition and normal excited condition, or we can say that synchronous motor operates on lagging power factor, leading power factor as well as the unity power factor. This is This is the only motor which can operates on any type of power factor. Okay, so it will operate on lagging power factor, leading power factor, and a unity power factor. Okay, so synchronous condenser is a synchronous motor which operates on no load and in over excited condition. Okay, so it is connected in between load and source. Okay, so when three-phase load is connected to the source, the synchronous motor operates is connected to improve the power factor. Okay, so here if we see this vector, this is the voltage vector, this IL is the load current that is taken by the load. So this IL, this is the IL current vector. Okay, so this IL lags behind the voltage by phi L angle. That means it lags behind the voltage by more angle. Okay, now the current taken by this synchronous motor or synchronous condenser. So this motor operates on over excited condition, in over excited condition. Okay, so the current taken from this motor leads the voltage by some angle phi m, suppose. Okay, so this is the phi m current, it leads the voltage by phi m angle. Now we have to find the average of these two, phi L and phi M. So from this phi M we have to draw one parallel line to IL, and from this point we have to draw the one parallel line to IM. So this is the resultant, that is the I current. So this I current is the taken from the source. So this I current is coming from the source, and this current I lags behind the voltage by less angle, that is phi. So here what happens, when synchronous motor is not connected, synchronous condenser is not connected, at that time the angle is phi L. But as soon as the synchronous condenser is connected in the circuit, the angle reduces from phi L to phi. So angle reduces, that means the power factor increases, or we can say that the power factor improve. Okay, so this is the synchronous condenser method. Third is the phase advancer method. Okay, so the method correcting the power factor by phase advancer is mainly used for induction motor. Okay, phase advancer method is used to improve the power factor of induction motor. This is because the power factor of induction motor is very low due to high lagging nature of winding, where field current leads the voltage somewhat closer to the 90 degree, not 90, 100, 90 degree. Okay, so if the field current is supplied from some other AC source, the motor will not take current from the mains and hence the power factor is improved. So this job is performed by a phase advancer. What is the phase advancer? Phase advancer is a small commutator machine mounted on the shaft of induction motor. Phase advancer is a small commutator machine. It is also one motor. Okay, it is a small commutator machines mounted on the shaft of the induction motor. Where it is mounted? It is mounted on the shaft of induction motor and it is connected to the rotor to supply the field current at slip frequency. Okay, where it is connected? It is connected to the rotor. And what is the function? To supply the field current at slip frequency. Slip frequency पे वो field current supply करेगी किसको? रोटर को. So रोटर को current supply करेगी कौन सी slip frequency पे करंट जो है वो रोटर को सप्लाई करेगी. This is the phase advancer. So when phase advancing machines provides more current, ampere turns then required, the induction motor takes the leading current from the supply, hence the power factor is improved. And this method is not economical for motors that are rated below 200 HP. So phase advancer is the one commutated motor mounted on the shaft of induction motor to supply the magnetizing current to the rotor at slip frequency. In short, we can say that phase advancer is a commutator machines which is mounted on shaft of induction motor to supply a magnetizing current to rotor at slip frequency. Okay, so today we discussed about the power factor control, in which basics of power factor, then causes of low power factor, disadvantages of low power factor, then need of power factor improvement or the advantages of why power factor improvement is required, then the various methods to improve the power factor.